Hi guys, in this video we're gonna be doing a secant method calculator using C++. So this secant method calculator will be applicable to third up to 10th degree polynomials. In numerical analysis, it is a root finding algorithm that uses a succession of roots of a secant lines to better approximate a root of a function. The secant method can be thought of as a finite difference approximation of Newton's method. So the iterative formula for secant method is x nu equals x1 minus the quantity f of x1 multiplied by the quantity x1 minus x0 all over the quantity f of x1 minus f of x0, where x nu is the new value of x that will be used to the next iterations. X0 and x1 are the initial values. F of x0 and f of x1 are the values of our function when we let x equal to the initial values x0 and x1 respectively. Here are the steps in solving a problem using secant method. 1. If the initial values are not given, assign any two different values of x. However, if initial values are given, assign immediately the first value to x0 and second value to x1. Compute for f of x0 and f of x1 using the initial values of x0 and x1. 2. Compute for x nu using the iterative formula. After solving x nu, solve for f of x nu. For the next iteration, immediately assign previous value of x1 to present value of x0, previous value of x nu to present value of x1. Solve for the new value of x nu and f of x nu as stated in step 2. Continue doing the process until you reach any of the following conditions. A. Computed value of f of x nu is already 0. It means you have the exact value of the unknown. The previous value of x nu is the same as the current computed value of x nu. Letter C. If you reach the maximum number of iterations stated in the problem. Let us go now to the codes. As you can see, our program is already finished, but don't worry, I will try my best to explain everything by breaking down the codes. So usually C++ starts with defining the library or the libraries that we are going to use, which in our case we have 8 libraries. These are include iOS stream is a header file which contains functions of a program like cout, cin, etc. IO manip is a library that is used to manipulate the output of the C++ program. The math.h header defines various mathematical functions and one macro. The stdlib.h header defines 4 variable types, several macros, and different functions for performing general functions. The conyo.h header defines C++ programming contains functions for console input-output. Some of its most commonly used functions are clear screen, catch, etc. The stdio.h header defines 3 variable types, several macros, and different functions for performing input and output. The csddlib is a header file declares a set of general-purpose functions. It also contains few mathematical functions. For example, using ABS to find the absolute value of a number. We include unistd.h is a header defines miscellaneous symbolic constants and types and declares miscellaneous functions. As you have noticed, our library contains number sign include, so it is to literally include particular header or library in the program. We also include using namespace std. And then we have to declare our variables. So we have x0, x1, x2, x0n, x1n, f of x0, f of x1, f of x2, f of x0n, f of x1n, p for the precision, and e for the accuracy. So we use variable type double for numbers with decimal points, while variable type int for deg or degree, I, and iteration. So we use int short for integer for whole numbers. We also include int main. This is very important for our program because from this line onwards, our program body starts. Then we display the title of our program. Then we ask the user to enter the degree of the function or the polynomial. The range must be from 3 to 10. Then we save it to variable deg. And here comes our conditional statement. It means that if you have entered number which is less than 3 and higher than 10, the program will automatically exit. Otherwise, if the entered value for deg was within the range, the program will ask the user to enter coefficient for each degree of polynomial. For example, you have entered 5, the program will ask you 6 values for x to the 5th power, x to the 4th power, x to the 3rd power, x squared, x, and x0. Let us suppose that you have entered a correct value for deg. The program will immediately ask you for the precision or your desired number of decimal points. The E for the accuracy or allowable error, and we saved it to variable D and E respectively. And then we saved it and fixed the value of the precision. Then the program will ask you for values of x0 and x1 as our initial values. Then we save that to variable x0n and x01 respectively. And then our second conditional statement is that if the entered values for x0 and x1 are the same or equal, the program will exit. So if the values for x0 and x1 are correct, then the program will display the tabulated results. So this part of our program is the header of our tabulated results, specifically the iteration number, the XO, X1, X2, f of XO, and so on and so forth. So after that, we declare the looping statement of our program, specifically the do-while loop. So the iteration plus plus is because we are expecting a successive results. So it will increase by 1 every iteration. And then we let x0 equals x0n and x1 equals x1n. And then we perform f of x0 and f of x1 as represented by these equations. Yes, it's a little bit long. And then for x2, we use the iterative formula, and then we immediately compute for the f of x2. Then we want to display the output of um, these equation using this statement. And then again for the next iteration, we let x0n equals x1 and then x1n equals x2. We declare our while statement f ups x2 minus x1 is greater than e. So if this statement was satisfied, the program will display the answer or the root of our function. And then basically the loop will end when this statement was satisfied. And then lastly, we display my name and my student number. So now we are going to run the program.
Audio Jungle. 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 Audio Jungle.
So now we are going to intentionally input wrong values.